On IMDb, X No X Return X says Godzilla 1998 is one of their favorite movies. I don't remember seeing Godzilla the first time, but it is still one of my favorite movies of all time. They make Godzilla much more than just a crazy monster who wants to rule over the earth. All she wants to do is raise her family. She cannot help it if she is super huge. And it is obvious she loves her children, for when she is dead, you can see the sadness upon her expression as she looking at the humans who killed them off. It's also very heartbreaking when they finally kill her. I think they should have taken her to an unknown island so she can live peacefully. I've also seen the other Godzilla movies, the word other in quotation marks for some reason, like the one where Godzilla is fighting, also fighting in quotation marks, another creature. These movies suck. I mean, my 6-year-old nephew could make a better movie than those. Those make me so angry. The only good Godzilla movie is this one. All the other ones are poorly made. They should have stuck with this one and never mad the other ones. I love this movie. Less than 3. 10 stars.
Less than 3 what?
It's a heart.
Oh.
A heart emoji. Good. This movie deserves a fart emoji.
Very good. You know, Robbie, this is the 4th movie we've covered with Godzilla in it. And granted, all of them are American.
Yes.
Okay. And I've never seen a Japanese Godzilla movie. I'm going to say, so far, Godzilla's not very good.
Hello, and welcome to the Royds Review Podcast. I'm Rob, and I'm co-hosted with a stupid, dumb bitch. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Rob.
And I'm Andy.
And we are back this week, continuing our tour of Monsties with Godzilla 1998. Andy, how are Yate?
Very good. I plan on watching some Japanese ones. I'm almost positive that they're better than the American ones.
Yes.
Would you say so?
I would 100% say so.
Wow.
You also have to be a fan of Godzilla movies.
Okay, I wouldn't know yet.
If you immediately just jump into like the original Godzilla movie from like 1954, you might go, this is a sign of the time. I would probably start with like Godzilla -1 or Shin Godzilla, one of the more recent ones.
Yeah, I plan to because they both look good.
It's also a little bit easier with the effects to ease your way into that.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with a puppet or a guy in a suit. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, or a gyno. When you said guy in a suit, it kind of sounded like you said gyno suit.
Okay.
And you know how my brain works. It doesn't.
You just gotta say it.
Yeah. There's no filter. Andy, have you seen Godzilla 98 before?
Not only had I seen this, I'd seen it in theaters on my birthday, a double feature with Mulan. I also own this movie on VHS, and I would watch it regularly as a child. So while I was watching this movie, it was triggering some nostalgia for me, but it still wasn't good. Weird, huh? How about you, Robbie?
I also saw this in theaters. I saw this at the Itch in Belmore.
Okay.
With my father, and I remember 9-year-old Rob and his much older father walking out going, that wasn't very good.
So as a kid, you didn't like it?
No.
Okay. As a kid, I liked it.
As a kid, because when I was that age, I was a huge fan of Godzilla. When I was that age, one of my favorite movies was King Kong versus Godzilla. I had the VHS and I watched it on repeat. I had the VHS of Godzilla vs. Mothra.
Okay.
So When I finally saw what Godzilla looked like, I was out, man.
Yeah, I remember the design not being so not good. You know?
I even at the time I was going, that's not Godzilla.
Yeah, they made him look like a Dino Daddy.
He's just a giant lizard.
Well, like he walks like a T-Rex.
Yes, he absolutely does.
I think that has something to do with Jurassic Park being a huge success.
Oh, I think a lot of this movie was inspired by Jurassic Park.
Now, see, they got Roland Emmerich, who previous episode he did Independence Day, right?
Yes.
A lot of destruction of a city. I think, honestly, that's a decent choice for a 90s Godzilla movie, right?
Yeah, but he didn't want to do a Godzilla movie.
This man dropped the ball so hard.
Apparently, he told them, I don't want to do Godzilla. I'm just going to do a big lizard. And they said, awesome. That's what you're doing.
Listen, I haven't seen a Roland Emmerich film that I enjoyed.
I liked Independence Day. I said that on the episode.
I know. I think I liked it when I was a kid, but it's kind of went like with this. Like as a kid, you're just like, whoa. And then like this, you're like, whoa. It's like a different whoa. Yeah.
The minute you start getting nervous when you're watching this movie is during the opening credits because you start seeing a lot of iguanas.
Yeah.
And you're going, ooh, why are they showing so many iguanas during this opening scene?
It heavily implies that he's just an iguana.
And you can kind of tell that's really a lot of what they base on with the swimming motions.
Yeah. Well, we just started, but before we get into that, what year did this movie come out?
You're right. I was diving right into it. This movie came out the year of our Megazord, 1998.
Wow. So this is like around the year I was born 1991, so I'm like coming into like legitimate sentience, right? I'm starting to know what I like. I'm starting to understand things around me, right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing a lot of these movies, and a lot of these movies are good. A Bug's Life.
Bug's Life's a good movie.
Yeah, number 5 in the box office, the worldwide box office.
The Game?
Oh, the Game?
Bug's Life video game?
My first game.
Yeah, that game was sick. That was
Sure
a good
was.
video game. That was a good movie adaptation for a video game.
Yes, I still play it occasionally.
That. Yeah, it's a solid game.
Yeah, and
the graphics were good for the time too.
They were. Number 4 is There's Something About Mary. Funny movie.
I saw that once years ago. I can't remember anything about it.
I've seen it several times years ago.
I just remember Come in the Hair.
A little crass, Robbie. Number 3 is Godzilla. This made $379 million worldwide.
It's funny to do so well in the box office, and yet the reviews are so poor. They went, no sequel.
Apparently, it was still... It was a success, but not nearly as big as they wanted it to be.
Huge drop-off after the first week.
Yeah, because it was shit. Number 2 is Saving Private Ryan.
I've never seen that.
It's an excellent movie.
Not a movie I want to do for this podcast.
No, but it's everyone's dad's first or second favorite movie. That's just a fact.
I'll ask my dad about that, all right?
All right.
All right, in fact, you want me to get him on the phone right now? He'd be so pissed off. He'd be so fucking mad if I called him on speakerphone. I was like, hey, Dad, how do you feel about Saving Private Ryan? Because I guarantee you his answer would be, I don't think I've ever seen it.
No.
He says that he says about so many films that we've watched together. I've never seen this. Dad, I saw it in theaters with you. No.
Well, my wife is a similar way. We were watching something. I think we've been watching Modern Family lately, which I've never seen before.
That's a funny show.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. And they have like a guest star almost every episode. And one of them was Steve Agee. And I was like, "Hey, that's Peacemaker. He's the dyebeard." And my wife was like, "What? Remember Peacemaker kept calling him dyebeard at the end of the season?" He's like, "I do dye my beard."
It took me a second to remember that too.
And she was like, I have no idea. I was like, you don't remember anything.
Oh my God.
But number one was Armageddon.
I've never seen Armageddon either.
Armageddon into Godzilla on this podcast.
Very good, Andy.
Pretty
That was
good, right?
excellent.
Number six was Mulan, which is, again, I seen it in theaters. Mask of Zorro, Lethal Weapon 4, Dr. Dolittle, The Truman Show. It's a pretty big year for movies, if we still
Sounds
did
like
that.
it.
Oh, Rush Hour.
I don't rush anywhere.
How about Ants? How do you feel about Ants with a Z?
I'm not a fan.
Yeah, nobody likes that.
It's
Nobody
shit.
likes it. I had it on
I think I
DVD.
can make
It was
A Bug's Life too. Gorsh.
one of my first DVDs was Ants, and I watched Ants and A Bug's Life a lot, and I have fond memories of both of them.
What if the ant married his adopted daughter?
Daughter. Yeah. There's also a really graphically violent scene in Ants. There's like a war between the ants and the termites.
I saw Ants. I'll be honest. I saw Ants once years ago. Hated it. Never wanted to come back to it.
It's definitely like looking back, going, it's not really a kids movie.
Real quick, thank you so much for listening. If you want to send us some feedback, send us an email at roydsreview@gmail.com. That's ROYDSREVUE@gmail.com.
You could also find our music on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get your music, by searching The Royds. That's ROYDS. We have 2 albums and a Christmas song. Hope you like it.
It is a Woody Allen movie. He doesn't make kids
weird.
movies.
Yeah, weird that he did that.
Yeah. He shouldn't do anything with or for children.
Yeah.
So these opening credits of Godzilla 98 are where everything starts to go downhill.
So immediately.
Yeah.
You hit play and you're in bad shape.
Well, they hit play and they start showing like the map with French Polynesia and shit. And I'm going, okay, all right, I can get into this. That's an iguana. Oh, another iguana.
Yep. They show what is it? Komodo dragons as well.
Yeah. Yes, they do.
But then they really zoom in on those iguanas and those iguana eggs. And you're
Well, at one point they're showing an explosion and they make it look like the iguanas are all watching it like it's fireworks.
Yeah, they're like, huh?
Yeah, no.
It's bad.
Not how it happens, buddy. And then, yeah, like you said, the credits end on an egg. And there's like a bunch of mentions, like a Roland Emmerich film. This film, you'll never guess who the director is. It's Roland Emmerich. And then right at the end, it says directed by Roland Emmerich.
Yeah, I think he was very proud of it, which is funny.
Sad.
It's very funny to be like, look at this thing I made. And everyone's like, that's shit. You made shit. He's like, oh, no. That's funny to me.
So we're on this ship. A dude is watching sumo wrestling on a stormy night. Get used to that because it rains this whole fucking movie.
It does. I saw or I read an interview with Hank Azaria about it, and he was like, it was the worst. Like, it wasn't a bad time, but he was like sick the entire time because you're just sopping wet for days at a time. And he's like, I was just sick the entire time. Sounds awful.
Of course. He gets a signal that something is coming and he sounds the alarm. These dudes are immediately calling it Godzilla. This is where I was going to ask a question, but they answered it later in the movie. Because I was going to ask, was Godzilla already known to the Japanese at this point? But then they explained that in this movie, Godzilla is a Japanese myth.
Yeah, like a water lizard or something.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, at least they explained that. We're now with Matthew Broderick. He's at Chernobyl studying worms, and he is having the time of his life. He opens this suitcase, all his gear, and he has pictures of a woman in there. My first thinking, because I haven't seen this in a while, was, oh, what does he have, like a dead wife or something? No, that's the woman who left him a number of years ago.
Yeah, I also thought, because I hadn't seen it in a while, I was like, oh, it's his girlfriend. Okay.
No, he hasn't seen her in years.
Nope. hasn't seen her in years.
Yikes. That's the
Yeah.
most 90s love story thing ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
To be like, I've been obsessing over you and we'll get together at the end. I win.
Yeah. It's bad.
Oh, yeah, it's real bad. A helicopter comes. It's the U.S. State Department. Broderick is being reassigned. I did not bother learning the names of the characters for this movie.
Yeah, I couldn't name one.
I got very sick of it very early on when they kept doing that gag of them getting Broderick's name wrong.
Oh yeah, he's got like a really Greek last name too.
Yeah. Yeah, that Greek god, Matthew Broderick.
Yeah.
They ran that joke into the ground immediately, and it wasn't funny the first time.
Yeah.
But now we're in Tahiti. Gene Reno shows up at a hospital, and they're checking the radiation on a guy who was on the ship. Reno then holds a flame to the guy, and for some reason, that gets him to say Godzilla.
Yeah, that was that's my first question is why did he do that? Why did he light a lighter next to this traumatized Japanese man? And why did it get him to talk?
Yeah.
Is he threatening him or is it like what is this?
Was it like a code from the French government?
Yeah. I don't get it.
At first, the guy was like reluctant to say anything. And then once he waved the lighter, he was like, Godzilla. I was like, okay, well, that's dumb.
Yeah, I figured like maybe he was like petrified, scared, and he was like, like a trauma induced like catatonic state.
Yeah.
And like the fire maybe scares him out of it. I don't know. I don't get
Is
it.
he going to light me on fire?
Yeah, I better start talking. I don't know. It's bad. That's bad.
It's horrible.
What are you doing? What are we doing?
So Broderick is now hanging out with the army. He would 100% notice that he walked into a footprint.
Oh yeah, they fucking so the whole gag like you're standing in it, okay, and the camera pulls out, and he for like a solid minute, he's like, "Where? I don't see it. Where? I don't see it. I don't see it. Where?" Like, cut that shit out. Too long. You did it for too long.
It's too long. The tone of this movie is all over the fucking place.
Well, it's Roland Emmerich.
Yeah. I guess that's fair.
Yeah, it's just like he just tries to. We can do everything in this. We'll do everything. We'll have every character and do everything, but none of it well. That's the thing. Is like none of it is done well.
But I'm watching this, and in my head, I'm thinking this is the template for the modern MCU. Everyone's quipping at all the time.
Yeah.
Nothing's to be taken seriously until it is, you know?
Yeah, I think you could argue movies like this and Independence Day. I would say even like Men in Black, because it's funny, but it's also action.
But Men in Black at no point takes itself seriously.
Harmonize with me, Robbie. Yeah, I don't know. Go back to that episode and check it out, and you tell us.
Broderick meets with Vicki Lewis. She's a paleontologist or whatever. They bring a tape, and here's another issue where this humor it comes out of nowhere, and it never comes back because this weird guy sneezes into his hand and then goes to shake Broderick's hand. What are we doing?
Yeah, and she's like into him.
Yeah, I don't need that at all.
Like, yeah, none of this plays into anything. It's just there for like, is this funny? No? Okay, we'll move on.
And then this guy brought a tape. And then the tape is just the scene we saw seconds ago with the flame. There wasn't a camera in the scene that we just saw. All right, that's number one. Number two, it's the exact same angle.
Yeah, it's the same footage.
You can't do that.
No, you can't.
What, you thought people wouldn't notice?
They did. They did think that.
That was horrendous.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm going, oh, this is a bad movie. This is just bad.
We got a bad movie, fellas. There are some good things to say, but there's way more bad.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what the good stuff is when we get to it. in my opinion.
So we're in New York City. Maria Pitillo, she's working at a news station. Her boss, Harry Shearer, he's a big old jerk. He's the head newscaster. He's hitting on Pitillo, and he doesn't want to really give her a raise or give her the time of day. And then now we're in Jamaica, the country. Nobody can get Broderick's name right. This joke fucking sucks. The paleontologist is now just hitting on him, and they have zero chemistry.
Yeah, it's just kind of a slog until you get to Godzilla, and then it's still a slog.
Yeah,
like,
that's
wow,
the whole thing's
I
a
thought
slog.
it would pick up here, but it doesn't.
Then we're just looking at this wrecked ship on the coast, and Broderick's looking through a bunch of tuna cans. Here's a question. Are we supposed to think that Godzilla attacked this ship because it had a bunch of tuna cans?
I think so.
Godzilla isn't a cat.
No, he's also swimming in the ocean.
Yeah.
Where
there's plenty of fish to eat.
For sure, more tuna.
I'm mad.
Yeah.
3 fishing boats are then pulled into the ocean. Who cares?
Yeah. So I remember being impressed with the visuals as a kid. And, at first, you don't see too much. But when those fishing boats get pulled under, it's cool, I guess. But, it just, there's just a black background and they're in a pool. It's clear that they're just in a pool.
Yeah.
And it kind of took me out of it. And I was like,
Now we're back with Broderick and the team. They're talking about, is it a dinosaur? And Broderick says it can't be a dinosaur because of all the radiation.
Too big.
It's too big. How's it too big to be a dinosaur?
I guess there's no dinosaurs that were that big, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a paleontologist, Rob.
That's a good point. So he blames the nuclear tests and says it's a mutation from the nuclear tests. And then you go, oh, the fucking iguanas. God damn it.
Yeah. This is where I was a little bit interested, where he was like, well, I study the worms, and the worms by Chernobyl are fucking massive now. So I think what we're looking at here, I was like, don't say it. It's a big iguana. You said it.
So now we're back in New York City. We're with Hank Azaria, his wife, and Maria Pitillo. They're at some diner. Maria sees Broderick on the TV and just goes, turn it up. That's my ex-boyfriend that I left in the middle of the night.
Yeah. She is annoying.
What a terrible character.
Yeah. And Hank and his wife are just sick of her. They're just I don't know. Nobody likes her. Or even her boss is like, hey, you're a piece of shit. I mean, he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But everybody's a piece of shit. Except Hank Azaria. I kind of like Hank Azaria.
I like Hank Azaria.
I think that's just because I like Hank Azaria.
One thing, I like Hank Azaria, but I think what happened was he does all these great stereotypes on The Simpsons. Hey, Hank, can you do a New York stereotype for this movie? Because he's so annoying at parts.
Yeah.
Later on, they attacked the garden. Now I'm pissed. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh, my God. Now that's New York.
Yeah, for real. Some guy's fishing off the dock, and for some reason, these guys are just giving this old man a hard time.
Yeah, I remember having serious empathy and sympathy for this old man when I was a kid. I remember being like, this poor old, I hope he makes it out alive. Because this is the best actor in the movie. In my opinion, because he still made me feel a little something. He throws the hook out, right? And he gets it. And it pulls the thing. I like how when he gets it, the people who were just ribbing him, they're like, oh man, you got a big one. Reel it in, buddy. They're on his side now. I'm like, that's wholesome. But then he starts to cower and he's like, no. And I'm like, why? Why are you doing this to this old man? He seems like a sweet old guy. Why are you victim? Why are you making him a victim here? And there's no way he lives.
No, he's totally dead.
He's dead as fuck.
All 3 of those guys are dead.
Oh yeah, they're dead as fuck. But here's the cool part of that is when the bridge is exploding and he's running on it. Or the dock, rather.
But you know what makes that not cool is the fact that as he's watching this wave coming up and the two like horns sticking outside, he stands there for
he
like a
just
full
stares at it.
minute watching.
Yeah, yeah.
Move!
But-
Go! You deserve to die now.
The visual, though, the visual of somebody running on a dock and it's exploding as they're running on it is pretty cool.
I will agree with that. And when that's the coolest shot in your movie and it's with a nondescript character who's in there for one scene, that's a bad sign.
You got a bad movie, brother.
Also, I'm no expert, but if Godzilla grabbed that line, wouldn't it have been gone instantly?
Probably, unless he was just like, playing with the old man. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird and it's bad.
Yeah.
The old man caught Godzilla. Like he caught Godzilla.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, like, as he reels him in, Godzilla's like, oh, I'll hang out here for a while. It was pretty cool.
But he doesn't even reel him in. It just starts going out, but as Godzilla's coming in, which I'll just attribute to he bit it and then was just swimming down or something. I don't know.
Or he bit it and he swallowed it.
Yeah. But I don't understand why it took so long.
Well, think about the bait he had on the end of that hook.
Godzilla wouldn't even register that.
Right. It's tiny. It's just like there's no thought going into any of this.
None.
Yeah.
And then we get what I actually think is the worst part of this movie. Because every now and then we got to stop this movie fucking dead. Because Roland Emmerich has a problem with Siskel and Ebert.
Yes. Mayor Ebert.
And his assistant, Gene.
Yeah.
And his whole campaign is a thumbs up and everything. Dude, they're movie critics. They didn't like your movies.
It's because your movies are bad. Sorry.
No, you don't have to apologize. The minute he starts doing this shit, I can't defend him.
No, it's childish.
It is. It's a childish response to getting bad reviews.
Yeah.
And you're doing this in a movie that's already over 2 hours long.
Yeah. And also, the mayor is just screaming.
The whole
just
time.
the loudest mayor that's ever been.
The whole
And
time.
he goes, they said that I wouldn't reduce crime, but I did. Look at me now. I did it. Like, what rally? What is this? Did you call this press conference and be like, I did it, everybody. I fucking did it.
He's just taking a victory lap.
Yeah. Like, what is this? Also, why wouldn't it be canceled due to rain? Everybody's out there in their umbrellas. What is this?
Do this press conference where you didn't book a venue another time.
There's a fucking nor'easter out here. What are you
and
doing?
It's apparently not going to end for the next week.
Yeah. Oh my god.
What sucks is I actually think this guy would have given a good performance in a different movie as a bumbling mayor.
Sure.
But it just feels like every time we come to him, it's stopping the movie dead so Emmerich can get his fucking licks in on Siskel and Ebert.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure, like, there's plenty of good actors in this.
Oh, yeah.
It's a bad movie. That's it.
Hank Azaria goes to the news van. It turns out he is a videographer for the news station, and he's going to get his camera so he can film Zilla. His wife, yeah.
I had a question that was immediately answered. It was, is Hank Azaria's character a news guy? Because if he's not, why was his first instinct to grab a camera and film it? Like, he broke into a van and then I was like, he must work for
that's the thing. They never established that beforehand.
No. And if they did, I didn't catch it because it's boring.
Yeah, it was lost on me.
Yeah.
But then his wife calls him the R word, and that was so egregious.
You agree with it, Robbie?
And you don't know what egregious means.
I don't, but you got to admit, it does sound like you agree, right? Agree.
You know what's fucking crazy to me? What? In 1998, you could get away with saying the R word, but I bet you if she just called him an asshole, they would have been like, that's a little rough for a PG-13 movie.
Probably. We normally don't just shit on movies like this. But like this is an egregious movie.
I agree with you.
You are egregious.
Yeah, I'm coming at this movie with so much anger. Part of it is because the day before recording this, I watched this twice in one day.
Robbie.
Because this is what happens. I write my song and I was running busy this week. So I actually watched it at work so I could write the lyrics to my song. And then I watched it again at home to take my notes and did my vocals right when I got home from work and then watch the movie again to take all my notes.
Wow. Robbie's into torture. Yeah, no, it's rough, and I don't like to just like shit on things like objectively. Like I like to, hey, here's some bad, here's some good, here's overall what I think. But all of this it's rough, it's bad. I don't like
All right.
it.
Let's talk about something we can both agree is good.
Okay.
All these scenes of the Zilla feet. Oh God. Don't you want to just get stomped on by a giant mommy?
No, Robbie.
Yeah, especially because it looks like shit.
See, I think that the computer generated graphics look decent. I think they hold up. I think they hold up better in the dark.
Yes.
I think that the best looking scene by far is the car chase at the end.
I can agree with that.
I think there's also something kind of cool about the scene where Hank Azaria almost gets stomped on.
I hated that.
Like
I
he's
hate
like
that
right in between
so
the
much.
toes. There's just something a little okay about that. And again, this could be my nostalgia, but even looking back as I'm watching it, I'm like, I'm not having a good time. There's something about this movie that makes me hate it.
You know what my big problem with that scene in particular is?
What is it?
That's the first scene where like, oh, no one of consequence is going to die in this movie.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's no reason for that. There's no reason for that you're not killing. Jean Reno should have died at the end of this movie.
Is it Jean or Jean?
Oh, it's probably Jean because he's from French Morocco.
Le Franc. I mean, does anybody die in this?
A couple of his men.
Yep, they die, and helicopter pilots die.
Yeah,
That's
but
about it.
like a bunch of the nameless, faceless guys die.
Yeah, yeah. You know, speaking of Step on Me, Mommy,
Yeah.
I've been playing Resident Evil 8, which I missed when it came out.
Okay.
And have you seen the memes surrounding that?
No, I'm really excited to see where this is going.
There's a big, like a voluptuous 9-foot vampire woman in it, and she like chases you around.
What's the
She's
name?
like one of those. It's a Lady Demetresque. Lady Demetresque. Just Google Lady Resident Evil 8. Demetresque.
Alcina Demestre. Yeah.
Yeah, she like chases you around, and I remember the memes, and then I played it, and I was like, "Step on me, mommy." You know what I'm saying? You know.
I've never.
What I'm saying?
Oh boy, I've never been on a Resident Evil wiki before. I don't think I've ever actually even played Resident Evil.
Well, you're not too big into the Spook Fest.
Date of birth prior to 1914. I'm on the Resident Evil fandom wiki. So she is of age. It's okay. She's of age,
Yes,
everybody.
yes, she is a
I get freaked out. You never know with these fucking weirdos getting into cartoon characters.
Okay.
You never fucking know. Date of death 2021. So she was old, old bitch.
Yeah, but she was a vampire, Robbie.
Yeah, no. No, she could step on me.
Yeah. So back to Godzilla.
Can we talk about anything else before we go back to Godzilla? And anything to avoid this?
Yeah. What are you wearing?
You know what? Let's talk about Godzilla.
Yeah, let's get back to Godzilla.
It's incredibly jarring. They show the World Trade Center, and then what's really jarring is Harry Shearer mentions the 93 bombing, and you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah. He says this is the worst thing to happen since the bombing of 93, the World Trade Center bombing of 93. It's like,
And then Reno plants a recording device on the mayor. Pitillo steals Shearer's badge so she could get access to information. All this stuff about the mayor worrying about getting reelected is so stupid.
Yeah, it doesn't go anywhere. Also, does the tracker go anywhere either?
Yes, it does. That actually plays into it because that's how Reno has all the information.
Okay, gotcha. because he's in the war room. Yeah, I got you.
I actually think he's the best part of this movie.
Yeah.
I think he's always charming, and I think he's quite good here. Well, I'm not going to say good, but
he's doing his best.
Yeah, exactly. He's doing the best of what he can. Because I think Broderick is fucking awful.
I like Matthew Broderick. Otherwise,
I do too. That doesn't change the fact that he's bad in this.
No, I read he signed on to this before the script was completed.
I get it.
He must just be boys with Roland Emmerich or something.
Either that, or maybe he's just a huge Godzilla fan.
Well, if he was, he wouldn't have done this.
Yeah, but if he was on it before the script was completed, and they were just like, we're making an American Hollywood Godzilla film.
Well, apparently Roland Emmerich wrote it for Matthew Broderick. He was like, this is for you. And Matthew Broderick was like, all right.
The French, it turns out, are monitoring the situation as the military decides to lead Zilla into the middle of the city with some fish. Here's a question.
Yeah.
Questions. Why wouldn't you put a sedative or something in the fish?
That's a very good question. Here's my question. Questions. How does a 200-foot dinosaur hide in one of the most populated cities on Earth?
I don't know. He seems to just blast into buildings and then just burrow under the city somehow.
That's really dumb, and I hate it.
Yeah, me too.
It's dumb, and it's like boring and lazy. We need the people to talk for a while, but we can't have Godzilla run around, so he just fucks off for a bit.
And what sucks is they do that so much better in other Japanese Godzilla movies, because Godzilla comes and like does something and then goes back into the water, and they're like, all right, he's coming back. We got to figure out when he's coming back and why.
Right.
And they like plan for Godzilla's next attack. They're just like, we got to find Godzilla.
Yeah, I really hated that. I really hated the fact that they were just like, he's a sneaky 200-foot fucking lizard.
And whenever Godzilla's not on screen, all the other characters should be asking, where's Godzilla?
Well, like, what is he tiptoeing? What is this? It's bad. It's fucking stupid.
I did like the line later on when one of the guys go, so we didn't do anything to him? And Broderick goes, we fed him. I'll give them that one. That one got a little chuckle out of me.
Yeah, he's just so aloof and or nonchalant. I should say, like he's just like nothing's really phasing him.
He's so miscast.
Yeah,
and it's weird that you say this was written for him because it's so miscast.
Well, it's written. I mean, I don't know who wrote it, but it's a Roland Emmerich film. I'm sorry. I don't mean to hate, but like the guy.
But you're gonna do it.
He doesn't make good movies. I'm sorry.
Okay. Zilla is revealed in full. Broderick takes photos of him with his disposable camera at night in the rain. I'm sure those photos are going to come out looking great, Matt.
Yeah. I mean, they say, for all we know, maybe he's hiding in one of the buildings. What?
He turns around at a desk.
Yeah, what, did he open the door? Hiding in one of the buildings.
I bet you they show one of the buildings. They just goes into it and they just blast the building a bunch like, we got him. And he just comes out and swats him down like a giant fucking cat.
That's so dumb. Maybe he's hiding in one of the buildings. If he gets in a building, the building is destroyed.
Oh, shit. Godzilla locked himself in my office.
Yeah. That's dumb.
It's so bad. You want to know what the most egregious part of this movie is?
What's the most egregious part?
Zilla has no atomic breath, no fire breath, no nuclear breath, nothing.
Regular breath. And if a car explodes, then it might look like he has fire breath. But he does not.
I had to go back for a second. I was like, hold on, wait. Did he blow? Oh, no. He just breathed really hard on flaming cars.
Yeah. That's bad.
Yeah, it's really bad.
So I just can't believe that you agree with that. You said it was the most egregious part.
All right, Andy. Fighter jets chase Zilla around the city. The military blows up the Chrysler building. Your tax dollars at work, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I did like how the military is constantly just making things worse.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I just thought it was funny. Like, and even the mayor's like, "Get there in the city and part of me. Somebody give me a slice and a Coke over here, because I'm from New York, baby." Uh,
okay. Worst dialogue in movie history. You ready? Hey, Jimmy, you know that bad feeling I get when something really bad is about to happen?
yeah, yeah. That's rough.
Those dudes don't even die. They don't even, like, come on. You can't even let Godzilla wreck their shit.
You don't have bad feeling. I get when something bad is going to happen.
That's what he says.
Yeah, I remember him saying it.
I remember he said that when I was watching that at work. I was like, he did not say that.
Yeah.
And I rewound the thing like, maybe I'm just not paying attention well enough.
Yeah, somebody's got to put notes on this script. Somebody's got to punch this dialogue up. That's rough.
But then not to kill either of these guys who are looting. What are you doing? Why do they get to, because their injuries, because Godzilla just runs past them and like the force of Godzilla just brushes them back a bit.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, let Godzilla eat these guys.
He stomps on the car they were loading up.
Yeah. Haha, you don't get away with your stuff.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Broderick collects some blood from Godzilla.
They go for a Jurassic Park thing here. Like when he shows up to eat the fish. Because like they do a thing where he walks right up to Matthew Broderick.
Oh, yeah.
And like they're gonna shoot him, and he like puts his hand up. He's like, "No, it's cool." And then he touches Godzilla, and they have like this wondrous, whimsical music playing.
This music at times, it starts to sound a little bit like Jurassic Park 2.
Oh, what do you like? But are we supposed to like Godzilla? Because that's what that's implying.
Yeah, I agree. They're trying to get across he's just an animal.
I don't fucking care.
I agree. I'm with you, man. Kill that guy.
Give me a big mean Godzilla. I like a big mean Godzilla.
Yeah. If Godzilla is not going to be big and mean and rampaging through town, you need another monster for Godzilla to fight.
Yeah.
It can't be
Also,
someone trying to make a connection with Godzilla.
Yeah, and he's like running away from the military.
Yeah, no. Fuck
this?
that shit.
What is this? 1998?
Yeah. Well,
yeah, it is. Yeah.
So Broderick collects some blood from Zilla. Broderick buys some pregnancy tests. Broderick is testing if Zilla is pregnant. Okay. He says he uses the blood. That vial is not blood. He's using piss. Because it's yellow. He's using a yellow liquid to test if Godzilla is pregnant.
Where'd he get its piss?
I have no idea.
Probably his fucking mouth. Because he's a weird pervert.
Oh, no. I think they realized afterwards, they're like, where would he get piss from? Because then they went, all right, well, just have him deliver a line. Yeah, I checked his blood. So here's a question. Why would he think that Godzilla's pregnant? What tipped him off on that?
Science, Robbie. He's a science man.
He just wanted to try it out.
Yeah.
And then after Broderick runs off to the lab, Pitillo steals all his shit. But, Broderick, if you're going to have a videotape with the words top secret on it and just leave it out, it's going to get stolen.
Yeah, it's on you.
The search for Zilla continues. We're in a tunnel. These guys somehow can't tell that it's Zilla at the end of the tunnel with the eye when it's clearly a totally different texture than the rest of the tunnel.
Yeah. Also, how do you not feel him moving around?
Or
He's
hear the
200 feet.
roar he lets out.
Yeah.
Nobody just turns around in this movie.
Everybody's an idiot.
Because even at one point, Shearer's like talking. He's like, I need my story. And then his secretary sees Godzilla walk past. And she's like, I think I see your story.
Yeah, and he's like, shut up.
It's like, how do you not hear that? How do you not hear the chaos behind you? Turn around, dude.
Yeah. he stealth kills a chopper. Like
Oh, when he
they're
does that thing
looking
where he
for
comes
him.
up.
Yeah, they're like, "Where'd he go?" And then he's behind them. How? How
Uh,
is this 200-foot lizard stealth killing choppers?
no idea. He just hides away.
And then he chases one, and the guy's like, "I can't shake him. You're in a helicopter. Pull up."
Well, that's the one he stealth kills. He's like, I think I got rid of him. And then he comes up from under him. It's like, how did he do that?
Well, yeah, he got rid of two, and then he's chasing the last one. And the last one, he's like, "I can't shake him." He's going through the city. Fucking pull up. Just go up. Godzilla
Yeah,
can't reach you if you go up. Your death is your own fault.
that's
This is a
true.
bad movie.
So Broderick tells officials that Zilla is pregnant. And then, wouldn't you know, during that meeting is when they air the report where it's Harry Shearer giving the report and names Broderick. And they all understandably are like, oh, you went to the press? Fuck off.
Yeah, and he's like, "I didn't. Oh no, she must have taken the tape." And they're like, "You're fired." He gets in a cab and he says to the cab driver, "New York Airport."
No, he doesn't.
He does.
He says Newark.
Oh my God. Thank the Lord, because I was about to fucking lose it. I thought he said New York Airport. I was like, what fucking airport is that?
No, he said
Or
Newark.
JFK. He said Newark. Okay, that saves it. I was like,
They went through all the trouble of having real New York landmarks in this movie that they
Yeah.
couldn't name a real airport.
that's what I was thinking. But thank you for correcting me.
He's getting in the cab and just so happens to be right beside the payphone that Pitillo's using.
Yeah.
She's all
course.
apologetic and shit after fucking him over twice. Honey, take the L and go home.
I kind of like the fact that she's like, I can make it as a reporter. It's my dream to be a reporter. And like everybody's like, you suck though. And it's because she really does suck. Like when you see her doing it, she's bad at it. She's just like, and this is the news. Here you go.
Yeah. She's like, and I'm just gonna turn it over to Nick Totopoulos.
Yeah. It's like, yeah,
oh, right.
yeah, that's it makes sense that you're still an assistant after years. You're bad at this. Sorry.
So Broderick gets into a taxi. They're followed by Hank Azaria. It turns out Reno has taken Broderick because he then admits to being a part of the French Secret Service, and he reveals that he knows that the U.S. isn't going after the nest. That's where it comes in because he's been listening to the officials on the planted bug. So that's how he knows that they're not going after the nest. And I kind of like the reason the French are involved. And now I'm going, let's focus on these guys more instead of all this bullshit we did before. Because the whole reason he's there is to cover up France's nuclear testing in the Pacific. Oh, that's a movie.
Yeah. Where were these guys the whole time?
They were just, every now and then they'd cut to him and he'd be like,
yeah,
you call this coffee? Like, I call this America.
Yeah.
Or no croissant.
Or I am an insurance man.
Yeah.
All right. I have a note here that says I think most of this looks good, especially for 1998. And then my next note is it's a shame this movie blows.
See, I think this movie looks like shit because this movie looks significantly worse than Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
And Jurassic Park was 5 years prior.
I think the secret is ILM. You know?
I Love Me?
Yep. I forget, what is it?
Industrial Lights Magic?
Yeah, that's the one. I think they're the secret, especially back then. Like, they were the only ones who could, like, really fucking get it.
I think because this movie ripped off Jurassic Park so much and just had that feel
does everything
so much
worse. Yeah.
That, like, because it doesn't look even as good as Jurassic Park, that I'm going, no, this looks bad. I'm going to just objectively say bad because you went for something and didn't even come close. And it's not like this was a cheap movie.
No. Well, I think there are scenes that look good. Like, to this day. Good, and even good in comparison to Jurassic Park. Like, the Corridor crew, they do VFX breakdowns, and, like, they break down good and bad VFX, and they did the car chase scene at the end. And I think they did some other stuff where they compared like, oh, look, the lighting here is not great, but like in the most of the stuff in the car chase is like, oh, this is like really well done. And like I agree. Like I'm not a VFX artist, but like
Yeah, listen,
I
give
think
you
it
the
looks
car
good.
chase looks
Yeah,
fine,
yeah.
but that doesn't make up for the rest of the movie looking like garbage.
Well, when they do the Madison Square Garden thing where they do the Raptors essentially.
Okay, the small enclosed spaces with all the eggs looks pretty cool.
Yes, that looks good. And the when they're using like an animatronic or a puppet, it looks good.
Yeah, but then later on with the fucking baby Zillas, they're clearly just hitting copy paste.
Yes, yes.
Same thing with the helicopters and scenes. It was very
Yeah.
clear with certain fighter jets and helicopters that they were just fucking copy paste.
Yeah.
And it's like, and again, that something is a sign of the times, but it's going to take me out, especially the baby Zillas, because you need to have them looking slightly different. They can't all be exactly the same.
Yeah. It's also the movie's bad.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And that like really that makes a difference, to be honest. Like it's
I
hard
totally
to
agree.
objectively look at like one thing in like it's like finding a diamond in duty. You know?
Yeah.
Like that diamond's still covered in duty.
Well, never mind.
Go ahead, Robbie. I'm very curious.
Well, see, what happened was my diamond studded plug got lodged.
I see.
Yeah,
Yeah. Happens to the worst of us.
exactly. The military disputes that Godzilla is pregnant. This is a scene that gave me a little chuckle when Broderick goes, "What's with the gum?" And Reno goes, "Makes us seem more American." And they're all like violently chewing the gum. That one guy's like entire head is moving while he's chewing the gum.
And then he's just like, I'll do the talking. Yeah.
What's the problem with you? Thank you very much. Elvis
Yeah.
Presley movies. He is the king.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah. Again, he's very charming in everything.
Yeah.
In the subway, Zilla comes out and just walks past them or something. And Azaria and Pitillo are also in the subway. He is constantly filming. Zilla heads for the new fish trap, sees all the military people, and is like, I think this is a trap.
Yeah. What a smart big lizard.
Yeah. Jumps in the water. The Navy's there. Zilla somehow looks worse in the water.
Yeah, it's the movements.
This should look like a screensaver.
Yeah. Yeah. But like they hit him with torpedoes, and I knew that there was more, but I was like, thank God, let's just roll these credits.
I wish.
Yeah.
But you knew not, because why else would they be exploring MSG?
Yeah.
When they blow up Zilla, or when they shoot the shit out of Zilla, it says target destroyed. We then see a fully intact Zilla floating to the bottom of the river.
Yeah.
Hey, check.
Yeah.
Check.
Well, nobody noticed the giant lizard laying eggs in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, I have no idea. Just, I guess it was just totally empty that night.
Oh, like they said, okay, we evacuated New York. Like, first off, that would take days.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Number one. Number two, there's no way that nobody saw that. Like, it's a giant lizard shitting eggs out into one of the biggest and most well-known,
the world's most famous arena.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's
it's hard to get past that.
Yeah. Well, you know what's something Laura and I were talking about the other day? From a Long Island standpoint, if this was real, Long Island's going, we're fucked.
Why is that?
There's nowhere you can go if you're on Long Island.
That's true. There's only one road out, essentially.
Yeah, and all you got to do is go, man, I sure hope they kill Godzilla before he heads east.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he'll head west.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah.
Matthew Broderick has the worst tunnel vision in the world because he goes, 3 eggs? I thought there'd be more. Look in any other direction.
Yeah, you are surrounded by them.
And this makes no sense because, like, it's just like before. Is that like just a character trait? Is that he has bad vision, like when he was in the footprint? Where is it?
I guess. Yeah.
Idiots. The French dudes plant bombs as the eggs start to hatch, and then the baby Zillas start chasing them all around.
Yeah, they do a real Jurassic Park here.
This is so bad.
Yeah.
This is so bad. And of course, the mayor doesn't want them searching for the baby Zillas because he's an idiot.
Yeah, I don't just don't. Just don't.
Nothing else works in Madison Square Garden. The elevator does.
Weird.
Yeah, it is weird. Reno reunites with Broderick. Azaria and Pitillo fall out of the vents or whatever they were. Pitillo calls the guy who like works as the broadcast. So I guess for some reason he wasn't evacuated from New York City.
I guess not.
And he goes, hey, wait a second. There's not a Ranger game on tonight.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, I don't know. Maybe it's something urgent. Why don't you just pick it up?
There's no Ranger game on tonight. There's a big lizard walking around town. What's going on here?
Every time Harry Shearer was reading the news, I just heard Kent Brockman.
Yeah.
That's all I heard. Also, why wouldn't they start by showing him the baby Zillas? He's like, I'm not putting you on. She's like, please, I'm not doing it. Just show him the monsters.
Yeah, that's so stupid. It's also like clearly like it's just shoehorned in there that she wants to be a reporter. So it's like, this is how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna save the day with my reporting. Like, no, you are not the story here. The dinosaurs are.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Just show them, idiot.
Also, a Godzilla film is not a small-time horror movie of people being chased around a corridor.
No. You know what it is? Jurassic Park, and it's much better.
Yes. So Broderick's telling everyone about the baby Zillas. He uses the silliest line ever to tell people how asexual reproduction works. Because he goes, they are born pregnant. No, they're not. Creatures who reproduce asexually are not born pregnant.
Right.
I don't know why. That line just infuriated me.
Well, it's very dumb.
All right. So they blow up Madison Square Garden, and I'm going, good. I genuinely thought the movie was over here.
No, Robbie, you would be so lucky.
Yeah, I would. Because I remember I turned to Laura, and I was like, wow, aren't you glad the movie's over? That's the end of the movie. Aren't you happy? And she's like, I know full well there's like 20 minutes left.
Well, like, before that, like, during the broadcast where they're like, here's how it works. Nobody fucking cares. Just show them all the little Zillas and be like, hey, you got to blow this up.
Yeah, yeah.
What are you wasting everybody's time with this informational nonsense? And even Jean is like he opens the door and there's one right there and he closes it. He's like, well, we have to fucking go.
Yeah.
So, like, there's no urgency here. Like, everybody's an idiot.
Well, because right in the middle of all the action is when we get the stupid fucking, they blew up MSG line.
Yeah. And fucking, he goes, he throws in the phone. He goes, 555-7600. It's the hotline for military attacks. What? He goes, "I'll just do that and say the code word, and they'll blow it up."
This line puts you through to the Pentagon directly.
Yeah. Oh, okay. They're not going to ask for any like clearance or anything. Like what? What?
The
bomb hotline
directly to William Cohen. That was Bill Clinton's Secretary of Defense. That I was
very good.
I was
very
Googling
good.
it. That's why it took me a second to answer it. And then Zilla, during this car chase, gets outsmarted by a car fucking twice.
Yeah.
It was the first time they shine the high beams on him. And then the second time, he just kind of trips.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually still have notes about the fucking broadcast. Sorry.
Go for it.
All right. They do the broadcast and they have this whimsical, uplifting music playing. Like same as when he touched Godzilla. While they're saying, if we don't bomb MSG, we'll all be dead. And there's just a weird disconnect there because you're
Yeah.
playing this like scoo-doo-doo-doo. Well, not really, not literally, but like that's not whimsical and it's not wondrous. It's wow, we're all gonna die if you don't kill all these babies. It's what you're saying. So like, I don't know. It's bad. It's bad.
terrible.
It's disjointed.
But Andy, they're born pregnant.
They're born pregnant.
I don't know why. That line is absolutely hilarious to me.
Yeah, that's fucking stupid. For some reason, there was just a billion of them just chilling in the lobby. I don't know. You remember that when they finally escape and then they get to the lobby and there's just like all of them. They're all just hanging out in the lobby.
And they get through because he just shoots down the chandeliers.
Yeah, bad.
It's horrible because that wouldn't chase her away. There's so many of them that they wouldn't all go, oh no.
Yeah.
Well, Broderick only lives earlier because when he's up against the elevator, for some reason, one of them starts snapping at another one.
Yeah. It's bad.
Stupid.
Yeah. Well, they get they blow up Madison Square Garden. Zilla's back. They do the car chase. I think this is the best part.
I still don't love it.
No, it's still bad.
It's funny. You keep talking about how it looks good. I actually have a note that it looks like shit. I wrote, they escape Zilla's mouth. It looks like shit.
I didn't like how they escaped Zilla's mouth. First
off, are we in its mouth? We are in its mouth.
Yeah.
I'm turning into Al Pacino.
Yeah.
We are in Godzilla's mouth.
There's a loose wire hanging from something. What else is in Godzilla's mouth? Okay, so there's a loose wire. Matthew Broderick he takes it with no harm to himself. He just grabs this loose wire. Because I'm
Homer Simpson.
And he puts it in between a tooth and a gum. He's just like shove. And Godzilla throws the car up at the exact right time for them to not fall to their death. They like line up perfectly with the road. And it's like, I'm out. I was out before, but I'm down the block now. I'm fucking out.
You know what we needed in this part? While he was doing it, he should have said, "You're bleeding because you don't floss."
Yeah. A good one-liner would really send it. Yeah.
So after Zilla gets blasted until he dies, we get the obligatory everybody cheers shot.
Yeah.
As we go around, because apparently a bunch of people did not leave New York City.
No.
Because they couldn't.
Everybody in New York City is blind and deaf.
Oh, yeah.
Weird that Godzilla just dies to, like 4 missiles? They just kill him?
Yeah, they just blast the shit out of him and he just dies.
Okay. You sure it's Godzilla, boys?
No, it's just Zilla. They've actually officially
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Good.
Absolutely good. They make another.
I read what they said in that movie. I forget what movie. It was like Godzilla versus
Final
Mothra
Wars.
Versus everybody else versus your mother, and
All Out Monsters Attack.
Yeah, and it's like, hey, what about that Godzilla from that happened in New York? And like, oh no, Americans think that was Godzilla. It's actually just a big lizard.
Yeah, they call it Zilla. He appeared in Godzilla Final Wars and got killed immediately.
Well, he would, because
he's
the weakest one.
He fucking blows.
I mean, he died from missiles.
We make sure to get another dig in at Siskel and Ebert, where he's like, you know what I think of your campaign? And he gives it a thumbs down.
Yeah.
Reno takes Azaria's tape, and then an MSG, a final egg hatches.
Boo.
Hey, that set up the Godzilla cartoon.
I hear that's good.
It's totally fine. I enjoyed it as a kid. I actually enjoyed the cartoon a lot more than I enjoyed
That's
the movie.
what I hear. I hear that the cartoon was like decent and the movie is not.
Yeah. You want to go to Letterboxd?
Yeah. What is the lowest score you can give? I think this is the worst movie we've done for this podcast.
Yeah, it's funny. I was going to say, last week we actually posed that question. And if we had waited one more week, we both would have said, oh, Godzilla 98.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, I do want to say one positive thing. I think Godzilla sounded okay. I think the roar
Yeah, cool roar.
Was totally fine. I can give it the lowest I give it is half a star.
Okay, do it.
And I thought Reno is charming. I thought everything else is bad. It's basically a cheap Jurassic Park ripoff.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other things I like. I think this would be a good design for like a Muto, like as a Godzilla enemy.
I totally agree.
But like as Godzilla, no, it's bad.
No, I totally agree with that. Also, the design, yeah, like you said, its design is a great Muto. It's one of those things where you almost watch this movie waiting for the real Godzilla to show up.
Yeah, that would have been a really cool misdirect.
Yeah, well, because one of the original Japanese creators of Godzilla said the reason they call this one just Zilla is they took the god out of him. Because he's not a god, he's just a lizard.
Yeah, just a big mean lizard. Not even that mean.
No,
he only got mean after they killed his babies.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I have trivia.
I also have trivia.
I have 4 trivia.
Same.
Oh my god. You want to go first?
Sure. Okay, 555-7600 is the hotline for airstrikes. What is the code that he is instructed to use? Is it butterfly, dragonfly, ladybug, or grasshopper?
Ladybug?
It is not. It is dragonfly.
Damn it. When we first meet Matthew Broderick, what song is he singing? Raindrops keep falling on my head. Singing in the rain. It's raining men. Fire and rain.
I believe it is Singing in the Rain.
It is Singing in the Rain.
Wow. Oh, it's my turn. What famous director tried to talk Roland Emmerich out of making this movie? Was it David Fincher? Was it David Fincher, Steven Spielberg, David Lynch, Ridley Scott?
I'm going to say Ridley Scott.
It was Stevie Spiels.
Okay, interesting. He's going to steal it for himself.
No, he said, don't make a Godzilla movie because the best one was already made.
Okay.
That's what he said. And then he referred to one that I don't remember.
How much bigger are the Chernobyl earthworms than they were before the disaster? 25%, 33%, 10%, 17%.
33%.
No.
17%.
Yes.
Wow. I've done it.
Very good.
Roland Emmerich asked the design team to make Godzilla erotic, sensual, wily, or a little cute.
I'm going to say wily.
No. There's actually 2 answers here.
You should have said that.
Sorry.
What is it?
It's erotic and sensual.
What?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. But I did say in one of the Godzilla episodes, a pretty good looking lizard.
Yeah, but not this one.
No, not this one.
I like Mozilla's thick.
Like a little head, big thighs. Like the real Godzilla.
You say little head, big shaft. There are 3 Simpsons cast members in this movie. Hank Azaria, Harry Shearer, and Julie Kavner, Marsha Wallace, Nancy Cartwright, Tress MacNeille.
Nancy Cartwright?
Yes, she plays Harry Shearer's secretary.
Oh, that's her.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yep, the voice of Bart Simpson.
Wow. Since this movie happened, Sony made sure to hire someone who was a fan to direct the sequel, Spider-Man, Speed Racer, or King Kong.
I'm gonna say Spider-Man.
Correct.
Yeah.
Good choice.
I think
maybe get someone interested to make the movie.
Yeah, when you said Sony, that's what gave it away.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Sony owns any of the other shit I said.
What news station do they all work for? WDYF, WIDF, DIWK, FIKW.
DIWK.
No.
What is it?
WIDF.
Wow.
I wrote a song, Andy.
Me too.
Would you like heads or tails? Because I have a pick to flip.
I'll go heads this time.
It's tails.
Wow.
I'll go first.
Okay.
I did something different. I'm going to be honest. I did something different, Andy.
Interesting.
It's a swing. I don't know how I feel about it. My song is in 3/4.
Hey.
And that was tough. I had never done that before. And the whole time it just felt weird. It felt, you know what I mean? It just felt weird to do. So
you did 6/8 before.
6/8's different.
Is it?
6/8's a better groove.
Okay.
It's 3/4 is much more stunted than 6/8.
I don't know. I count them the same, pretty much. I see them as the same in my noggin.
That's good for you.
Okay. I hit a nerve. I'm sorry, Rob.
My song is called Eggs in the Garden.
Okay.
It's about the movie Godzilla 1998. It is in 3/4, and it goes like this.
1, 2, 3, 2, 2.
New York, New York, we're under attack. New York, New York, how can we fight back? Comes from the water, from nuclear tests. New York, that iguana is making a mess. Eggs in the garden, infestation. Eggs in the garden, radiation. From French Polynesia, this thing has swam. It don't seem affected by the weapons of man. Burrows and tunnels and swims and roars. New York, can't take that much more. Eggs in the garden, infestation. Eggs in the garden, radiation. I thought you were my friend, although I once thought we were lovers, and you betrayed me once again to get this story before the others. Eggs in the garden, infestation. Eggs in the garden, radiation.
So that was my song called Eggs in the Garden.
I like it. Well, nice, harmonious.
Yeah, those are probably what I'm most proud of. This took a while to do. But yeah, I'm very happy with the harmonies in that.
Cool.
But yeah, that's really it. I think I said everything I wanted to say before. It's called Eggs in the Garden, and it's just about Godzilla.
Very cool.
Thanks. Andy, tell us about your song. Tell the world about your song.
My song is called Sneaky, like with a question mark.
Oh.
And I was not motivated at all by this movie. but what I was motivated was my hatred. I was motivated by my hatred for this movie.
Good.
I give in to my hatred.
Do
And do it. I normally don't talk about the movie like as a movie in the song.
right.
And the first two verses I don't, and then the last verse I'm like, fuck it. I just don't. This is bad. It's just bad. So and this is a little different as well. It's kind of I use some like weird chords that I don't know what they are. But I use yeah. This one's called G GF GFL. But yeah, it's called Sneaking, and it's about Godzilla, and it goes like this.
I look at words and I'm fascinated by the rate at which they prove the radiation. The radiation makes them grow. They grow real fast, they don't grow real slow. What you telling me? This big lizard can sneak in a populated city without being seen. She's trying to make it in the big city as a reporter of the news. Her boss is kind of a pig. He doesn't think she can make it big. What you telling me is this big lizard can sneak in a populated city without being seen. I don't think so. That's really dumb and boring. I can see why nobody likes this. Can we be a Jurassic Park? This movie's got no fighting so far.
Yeah, it's my song called Sneaky.
I like the bass in that.
Thank you.
I like that. I like that overall. I think it's really good, but I think the bass particularly stands out.
Thank you. I was kind of experimenting with the drums like towards the
Experimenting.
end.
What are you, back in college?
Oh, you know it, baby. At the end, I was like, let me throw my fills in like not at the 4, like in between the 4 and the 1. Let me do it like in the middle. So that's what I did. And I just tried something new. I
That was
figured
cool.
I'd save it for the end just in case it doesn't work out. I could always just cut it out. But yeah, I At the last verse, I just threw my hands up. I was like, you know what? I don't think so. I don't think this works, guys. This
This
is
movie
bad.
doesn't deserve it.
Yeah, you tried to do a Jurassic Park, and it's not. It's not that, and it's not even a good Godzilla movie. It's bad. It's a bad movie. You fucked up, and I'm sticking to it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I liked it.
Well, thank you.
Your song, not the movie. The movie was terrible.
No, the movie's bad. Yeah, it's bad.
Andy, where can they find our music?
Okay, you go to Spotify, you go to Deezer, you go to Apple Music, you type in the Royds, and you will find 2 albums and a Christmas song and some songs from this podcast.
Rock
Now,
and
if you'd
roll.
like to see all of the songs from this podcast, you can go to TheRoyds.bandcamp.com, and you will see over 200 songs. And that's pretty fucking cool.
That is pretty effing cool.
Hey, Robin. Robin?
Yeah.
I'm
my
Howard Stern now, and you're Robin.
name. Well, hold on. Let me go get some makeup.
Don't do it, Robbie. Okay.
Hey,
Where
Party
can
City,
they...
do you have any?
No, Robbie. Can you tell us where to find us on the socials?
I can do that. You go to Instagram, you go to X, you go to Threads, you go to TikTok, you go to YouTube, you type in the Royds Band. There we are. You can send us an email at roydsreview@gmail.com. That's ROYDSREVUE@gmail.com. And wherever you're listening to us, whether that be Spotify or Apple Podcasts or on YouTube, give us a 5-star review. It really helps the podcast.
Yeah, it would be awesome. Thank you so much.
Bye, everybody.
All right, bye.